You fucking got it. Now, I've been going to this convention for about 3 years now, and last year was my major cosplaying out. I never really cosplayed that much before, let alone put together costumes, so it was pretty big for me. And one of the costumes was that of Cronus Ampora from Homestuck. Yes, I know, oh, the horror. You're a Homestuck? Yeah, yeah, I am. And I actually really like Cronus Ampora, despite the way the fandom always tries to shit on him and things like that. Which is why I cosplayed him to begin with. Now, I have never made props before, so the horns for the costume itself was my very first prop. They were made of foam and clay, as well as some Mod Podge and paint, some sealer, and then they were put onto a headband that was black that would match my spray-painted hair for the costume. And for the most part, they looked pretty good. With me being the only other person who was actually cosplaying that character, it was actually quite popular. I ended up having an entourage of a whole bunch of girls following me around the whole entire convention, as well as getting invited to be on a panel because they didn't have the character on their panel and they needed it. And it turned out pretty okay. But when I first arrived to the convention, I sort of had a bit of an interaction with what I guess you would say was a bad Homestuck fan. Now, like I said before, a lot of people like shitting on Cronus Ampora as well as the Ampora line in general. And, well, personally, I don't really see why. I mean, some of the stuff that they make up for this character is completely different for what the character actually is, but that's beside the point. So I was walking over to the dealer's room, seeing as I had a VIP pass, meaning I could get into the dealer's room 1 hour early. As I was walking, I see a sufferer, I believe it is the disciple, as well as Carcat, walking down towards me. I see the sufferer point at me and then point to Carcat, and I hear him yell, "Get the high blood, my descendant," and the Carcat starts jogging/running towards me. At first, I didn't really understand what was going on until they started coming closer and they reached their hand up to try to snatch my horns from my head. Now, one of the things you need to note is how much hairspray I put into my hair. My hair is a naturally dark brown, and the trolls have a dark black hair. So I ended up going to a Halloween shop and buying black hairspray. I tried to put my headband underneath my hair as much as possible so you couldn't see it, and then sprayed my hair, as well as used hairspray to keep it all together, so this thing was pretty attached to my head. Luckily, I was able to dodge before they were able to snatch them, and they ended up running off giggling, thinking it was the funniest thing ever. I later ended up seeing the Carcat after the panel I was invited to. They couldn't even look at me or meet my eye contact. They tried to ignore me for whatever reason. Either it was from embarrassment and shame of them trying to snatch my horns, or they just didn't like the character, and as a result, they didn't like me either. I don't really know, I just thought it was really stupid. Like, why would you try to grab someone's prop that they spent, like, a whole bunch of time on, and try to snatch it and break it? I really don't understand. But that's one of the few horror stories I actually have.